Yo, what up there, my beautiful and lovely gamers? My name is Jonal. Today we're talking about the 5 biggest mistakes I see, especially for players in low elo, meaning what I would assume is maybe low master and down. That is essentially where I see a lot of these mistakes. Of course, it happens in high reels as well, but at that point there's far more coming into the background of stuff. And I hope that this, of course, helps you guys improve and rank up a little bit. So let's really just start with it. I just as always have to say, if you guys want to hire me as a private coach, you guys can hit me up on our Discord server, which I will link down in that description. A lot of this is taken from private coaching session, all of the hundreds I've been doing with individuals, so on. This is where a lot of these notes come from, as I've seen most ranks so many times that every time I get a guy from a certain elo, I really have a list in my head of like stuff that I'm expecting to see, and a lot of time I do see those mistakes. Of course, it's a little bit individually for different people. Some people do it, some people don't, but it's just in general, and it normally costs 50 euros depending on when this video is released. So it's if it is released before the 19th, it will be costing 40 euros, but normally it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Hit me up and we can talk about it on the Discord server and come to a price. Now, let's really just start. So the first, and this is the biggest one, which triggers the shit out of me, is is dying on the point or dying on the payload. People that are not doing this, rolling away, running away, and so on, is really frustrating me, especially on defense. Not dying on the objective on defense. Let's say, especially stuff like payloads and payload. It's Anubis' first point. It's the payload. It is the King of the Hill. When you have the point under your control, not dying on that objective is essentially, for me, throwing your game. Because if you die on the payload, let's say, okay, let's put it like this. If your team is wiping, is dying, right? You see, okay, this is lost. So you try to run away, or you play around the payload. Even people that play close to the payload continue to fight their team, but doesn't go on the payload. It's lost. You can't win it. It's 6v3. There's no way you're winning this. Then you jump on the payload and you just fucking bob and weave and didn't try to die, try to just stall the time as much as possible. If you start dragging out a fight and start running away and trying to survive and I've seen up to like 10 seconds where people manage to stay alive and then they die, outside of the payload range, the payload is getting pushed, your team is trying to regroup with 3, 4, 5 players, you are still trying to, back off that area, and then you die. First of all, you stagger yourself. Second of all, they got to free push, or capture the point or advance their attack on the second point, or push the payload closer to the checkpoint and everything. And it's just so bad for the spawns, for the staggers, for your time management, for everything is just bad about that. Also, if you don't have your ultimate and you go on the point, a lot of time there might be a tank there. Tanks are easy headshot, meaning easy ult shot. So that's also another good one. And then talking about tanks, please start focusing the tanks. Tanks in Overwatch is one of the most valuable kills you can ever get, especially something like a main tank. You kill the tanks, potentially they can't push anymore. You have range, you have DPSs that has range on them. You have your own tanks, which you can't pass with low HP. A soldier can't walk past a Winston or a Reinhardt alone, even pocketed by support. He will die, the support will die. Your DPS can free fire. No spaces mean no tanks means no space. No space means the enemy team is not pushing, and meaning that, if you are on attack, you can push freely. And they are a lot of time out of position in low elos because they don't know what a good position is. So most of the time, you can punish tanks. Also because if you've ever played low elo and if you ever played main tank like Reinhardt in low elo, the tank is not getting protected by shit. So just bully him, just kill him. It's free ult shot, it's a free kill, it's an easy kill because they're big, chunky, and even though they have a lot of HP and so on, they're pretty easily bursted, especially when they're alone or not protected properly, and they are one of the most valuable kills in the game. Okay, it's a really nice way of thinking it is, if you have tanks and DPS alive, you can still win a fight. If you have supports and tanks alive, you can still win the fight. If you have supports and DPS alive, you cannot win that fight. That's of course a very broad statement, but it's because of the spacing that happens and the survivability. No tanks, no objective play, no win. That's kind of a good way of thinking about it. Let's talk also about dying, and patience is incredibly important, and not dying in Overwatch is important. But now you might be, well, Jonah, you just said me, die on the point. If it's lost and you're thinking you're gonna stagger, there are a couple of heroes, like Tracer, for example. If I see the fight is lost, let's say it's Route 66, right? It's the first point, they're pushing that payload, I see the fight is lost, and I know I can back off now, they won't be able to chase me, they won't be able to kill me. I can back off and camp in their backline and wait for my team to re-engage that objective. It won't hit the checkpoint. before my team will be able to group and attack, I might be able to catch someone coming from spawn, like a Zenyatta. I might be able to hit their backline. That's a little bit of a difference. But in general, not making sure that, especially while the fight is going on, not dying is important. You are the carry. That's the only way of looking at it. You're on platinum, you want to hit diamond, you're supposed to be that diamond player. Your team losing their diamond player is you losing your carry. If you're not alive, you can't carry your really bad team members, right? You can't beat that Smurf or that guy that is the one guy messing up everything for you, right? So you dying early or dying in a team fight or trading a 1-for-1 is really bad. Hell, even trading a 1-for-2 is a lot of time really bad. Because think about it. You kill 2 of them, so it's 4v6, and you die, now it's 5v6. So essentially, you're one guy up, but you lost you, and you're the carry. So essentially, you lost practically 2 players because you're that valuable for your team. So trading kills like that is not effective. You killed 3, you killed 4 players, and you did it so fast that none from your team, no one on your team died and so on. So it's essentially a 4v2 or something like that. Okay, fine, you can maybe say, okay, that's supposed to be a valid sacrifice, but even then, you should always try to be patient and rather back off and get healed up and so on, try to re-engage, try to push it, than really trying to kind of brute force your way, because unless you are in a low elo with really good mechanics, and you can really just shit on everyone, and that's an easy way of winning, then you dying or you risking dying for a sick kill or something like that is normally really bad. It also goes for the patient of baiting out abilities, which happen so much in low elos that, for example, you trace against a Kree, the Kree will use flashbang almost immediately. It's easy to bait out the flashbang. He doesn't have flashbang, he's an easy kill. He has the flashbang, he's not an easy kill. So I won't force this fight before he uses the flashbang. Or I like to use Tracer in lower elos, like when I play on a platinum account, to just kind of make them just look at me. I'll just shoot at them a little bit and make them, they'll panic and they'll look at me constantly, not shooting at my team. And I'm like, okay, there's 3 or 4 players looking at me. Of course, I'm not going in and taking that fight. I don't need the kills. But I'll just be here. As soon as they look away, I'll just, oh, maybe I can get a kill. I can't get a kill. Okay, cool. I'll just wait this out. A lot of time they will use nade, they will use flashbang, they'll amp heal, they'll amp speed, they'll use fade and orb and everything. And oh, cool, you're burning all your abilities, and there's no fight going on here. It's just me just standing next to you or close to you, and you're burning all your abilities. Great. I'll just wait those abilities out, and then I'll go in myself. Talk about abilities, ability management, very important. Most people, this also goes with the patience and the fact that, oh, I want my kill now. People burn abilities a lot. I see Reapers burn Wraithform right before a fight is about to start, because they want to get a little bit closer or a little bit faster up there, which is one of your most important abilities. Genji's burning dash to just deal damage or poke when you would clearly need it, or popping deflect to block like practically no damage, right? It's this kind of trigger happiness that really messes you up, because you're putting yourself at a really disadvantage. Even if you are better than everyone in a 1v1, you going in as a Genji with no deflect against a Kreese, you're putting yourself at a really big disadvantage. Or going around the Tracer with no recall. You need to look at your abilities as, okay, if this ability is really important to get, for example, Tracer and recall. Tracer's recall, I think, is a 12-second cooldown. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure it's 12 seconds. You not having recall is essentially you being useless. If you engage someone, risk of you dying. If you die, your team loses. So if you waste your recall, that's 12 seconds of you out of the fight. So you're practically dead. So make sure that you don't waste your abilities. Make sure that you get the maximum value and you only burn them at necessity. It shouldn't be, when can I use my ability? It should be, when do I have to burn them? Like, when is the last, especially such stuff like defensive, such as deflect or a defensive dash or your Wraithform. When is it I absolutely have to burn this? Or an Ice Cube or an Annihilate. When do I actually have to use this? And when, because if I don't get any value, if there's no real reason to use it, okay, if I'm not going to get any impact out of this ability, then there's no use of me burning it, and it will be a cooldown, and I'll be super vulnerable, and I'll lose at 1v1, even though I'm better than him, just because he will have so many more abilities, or he will have more support than I will have, and I need my abilities to actually succeed in that. And that's when it's being active. This is for DPSs and for tanks, for everything, support. Poking before fight engages, pushing aggressively up, taking space, poking even more, looking for kills, looking for damage, looking for stuff to sabotage, slowing down certain parts of the enemy team, bullying tanks, making them waste their shield, bullying supports, making them use their abilities right before the fight is about to start. So it's not even in early in the fight, it's like when the fight is about to start, they already burning their abilities, the Genji has to burn his stash, right? All of this is super important. You will build ultimates far more often, you will be, in general, in general, you'll be more active in the decision making. Of course, it happens again with all of these ties together, right? You don't want to die, you don't want to have to waste your abilities really, really early. But being active constantly is so good for your economy. It's so good for the enemy, to sabotaging the enemy team, and constantly also pressuring the enemy team, not giving them a time to breathe or relax or regroup properly. I don't know how many times in Platinum when I play with my friends that I can tell my team to, or my friends most of the time, just, hey guys, let's just fucking go and spawn camp them, because they're staggering themselves now. They're running out in groups of 2 and 3 and 4. And they're gonna run out the spawn gates constantly, and I'm Hawk. We can just fucking hook and kill them constantly bullying them. We will be active early here. I'll play sniper and be like, hey guys, just push up with a couple of the tanks. So now they just fucking stay on the payload. We will just push up here, and we'll just start shooting at them, and we'll punish them, and we'll poke them. And oh cool, we burned 3 ultimates last fight, but because the enemy team is staggering, we're pushing the payload freely. And we're poking like motherfuckers, so we're getting so many ultimates back up, or at least getting a lot of percentage back up. And the enemy team a lot of time is forced to engage us with low shield, with low breather, because again, and if you're playing in low elo, you would know this, people don't fucking care if you are Reinhardt and you don't have your shield. If it's 500 HP, they don't care. They'll push it. They're pushing now, so you better push with them, right? They don't care if you're Roadhog and you just burned your breather. You're pushing now. Same with your Reaper, same with the Genji, same with the Tracer. You're pushing now. They don't care about your ability management, because there's no comms, there's no structure, there's no game sense. So making the enemy team burn their abilities, they're gonna still play as if everyone is at their optimal full strength when they clearly aren't, forcing them into really bad position that is super easy for you to punish. So that's really my top 5 tips, mistakes that I see happening in lower elos. I would like to hear yours down in the comments if you think that there's anyone that I missed and so on. This is kind of like just a top 5 on top of my head. There's a billion more where those come from and so on. And it happens a little bit individual to people, as you will see in private coaching and so on. But in general, that is my top 5 that I think. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. As always, press liking and sharing it, and all that kind of good stuff happens. And tell me in the comments again what you guys would like to see also on the Discord from this channel. Topics, video ideas, and so on. I love seeing those. So, as always, guys, I love you guys very much. Please take care of yourselves, stay positive, and as always, guys, my name is Jonal, and you guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.